Now, this music scene, you've been able to see both sides of it. You've been able to see that, like you mentioned, the record stores, the analog part of rock and roll, the analog part of music, and now you've seen the digital part of music, and it's a big change. It's a different way of marketing, right?
Yes.
It's a different way of promoting, and actually it's the opportunity to make money is a lot different. So
Well,
how do you adjust?
Well, the thing is though that, you know, I miss a lot of my childhood, and this is not a crybabies give me a tissue thing. I miss a lot of my childhood because I was locked up in my room playing my bass on my own. I wasn't forced to, you know, go to your room and play your bass. I was in there playing my bass because I loved that piece of wood with 4 strings. And I wanted to learn every note, and I played Jaco Pastorius albums and tried to knock out what the hell is he doing? Or Rocco from Tower of Power, you know, what is he doing? Or Verdine from, you know, even Earth, Wind and Fire. I spent a lot of time on that, on my own, wanting to figure it out. Unfortunately, nowadays, some guy who just went and bought a bass can buy some kind of gadget, then he's a bass player all of a sudden. And I think that they're missing the point of being a musician. You know, I mean, I can play certain songs on a bass, but I can't play it on Guitar Hero. You know what I mean? But the way I look at it is like they've lost all the feeling. I think the feeling is gone. If you can knock out an album in your bedroom and it's listenable, I think that's killing a lot of bands that are, you know, a lot of bands that are trying to be musicians, as opposed to, you know, it's like going to Guitar Center and buying talent. You can't do it. Either you have it or you don't, or you can get there with practice. The digital music to me is kind of killing that. It's just more of the machines doing the work than the actual musicians. And then they just put it online and sell it for whatever they sell it for, you know, and they're winning. You know, I would love to go to a place and we just put out this vinyl. I miss those days, you know, the days you rip the plastic off and take the sleeve out, lyrics maybe, with pictures of the band, you know, or like Aerosmith's bootleg, double live bootleg, with all the pictures from the whole tour. You don't get that no more when you just download a CD. You're missing the whole rock and roll part of it. You know, so that part I miss, and unfortunately, I don't see that coming back. Unfortunately.
So, I was influenced by a ton of players, from George Harrison all the way up to, you know, EVH, all that shit, Randy Rhoads. But locally, there was a lot of cats that influenced me that I never got to express, like maybe Chris Holmes. There was just a bunch of cats from around here. There was Ricky Medina. He was in a band called Pinups. Nick Panici. He was a local cat. Daryl, John Marini.
Yeah.
Very, very, very big influence on me. Locally now, Albert Gonzalez, Ruben Reza. There's a cat called, there's a new cat who plays in Rhythmatics, Johnny Silva. I mean, he's very, very, he's caught my ear. And there's a guy over in Ireland called Jude Milk, and he's in a band called Acid Age. Phenomenal guitar player. And we chat. Yeah. And I just told him how much I'm influenced by it. And anyway, to make a long story short, who are the cats locally that you're influenced by? That they'll get your ear?
Well, like I said, Albert obviously, you know, Mr. Larry Malero. Mr. Larry Malero was a jukebox. You know, it's like, hey, can you show me, you know, Dead or Alive? And he'd be like, the Japanese version of 1977, or do you want, do you want the, or whatever, and not 77 because it came out after, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do you want the studio version, the bootleg version, the demo version? It'd be like, wow, just any of them will do, okay? Then Albert would sit there with the Alan Holdsworth licks, and that stretch, and it was like, so how, can you tame that down just a hair, there was this Dave Macias. I don't know if you know Dave Macias, but there was two of Dave Macias. Because I used to work in a studio in Duarte called Urban Audio Studios. It was right off Foothill, and there was a guy named Dave Macias. And then Rob had told me of a different Dave Macias. And I never figured out that there was two of them. Okay? Well, this guy, Dave Macias, is from Duarte. He would just hammer out just tunes. Just hammer out tunes in there. And you could hear him. And it was just like you wanted to get your guitar and just go, whatever. And it was really weird because he just stopped going there and he just stopped playing. And I could not believe he just stopped playing. He sold all of his shit and said, I'm done. I don't even know how that's possible. If I stop playing, something bad's gonna happen to me tomorrow. So then there was this other guy, because when I worked there, I was doing guitar repairs, but I was also like, when somebody rented a room, I'd go in there with a mic stand. How many mics do you need? Turn on the PA, that kind of shit. And one time I went in there, and there was this guy just playing his ass off. I mean, just playing his ass off. And he was an older cat, like me. In fact, older than me, it turned out to be. But I go, hey man, what's your name? He goes, oh, I'm Terry. And he was just in there, and he had this little PV combo that sounded like a stack in the room. And one day he goes, yeah, because we got a gig, and he did roll in a couple of stacks, and his name was Terry Kilgore. And that fucking guy, I don't even know what the hell to say about that dude. He was kind of grumpy. He was a little grumpy, but he backed up his shit. Like the famous Jocko line is, "It's not bragging if you can back it up." Okay, well, Terry obviously had more than enough to back it up, and he was just in there with, just going, and I was like, are you famous? Are you famous? And he goes, I think that was the rough subject, because he just looked at me like, give me the, whippersnapper kind of thing. But I didn't know, I had never heard that name. And then the David Lee Roth album came out, and it was like, oh shit, there he is. And I felt stupid, then I felt stupid going, oh, damn it, he was right there. So yeah, I would say that guy right there just made me lose my mind. Made me lose my mind. And it was effortless. And there was this other guy that was there. He rented a room at the studio. And he was just hanging out. He would just hang out, sleep in his car for a couple of days with his dog. And I was like, dude, you can stay, you can stay in here. And he goes, no, I'm cool, man. I walk my dog at night, do whatever. And I'm thinking, who is this guy? He's just walking around with shorts and dog, wife beater and his dog. And one day, this van pulls up, and they start just taking guitar cases out. Then another little van pulls up, and there's like Marshalls rollers in it. We're like, who's this for? Well, it turns out to be for that guy with his dog. His name was Kurt James. He was the guy that replaced Stingray as Steeler. So I'm sitting there again with my jaw dropped going, the fuck's the matter with me? And I felt stupid again. And then he goes, I'll be back in a while. And he came back like he looking like a rock star. And he went in there and proved he was. Man, there was like 9 strats in there. And he grabbed them and just went. Just went. And I was like, wow, this studio, if this studio could talk now, that's why I'm opening my mouth going, these were some great fucking times. You know? And I didn't know either one of them. So who's the dummy? You know? But after I was schooled, well, obviously you're a fan, instant fan. Oh, the minute you hear them, you're actually an instant fan. So those are the two. Those are the two that got me right there.
Good stuff. So tell us about Johnny's Metal Meals. Let's hear about this.
Well, I used to do a lot of things that were considered bad things. We'll just say that. So I needed to occupy my time. And then I realized I could actually cook. So I drink my beer and I sit there and watch the Food Network channel. scribble down recipes. You know, I don't smoke weed. I don't do anything but drink now. But for some reason, I still get the munchies watching the Food Network or whatever. So I'll scribble it down. I'll give it a different name, you know, and I'll give it a shot. A lot of times it's like, But then I realized my mom taught me how to cook too. So I started making these things that I had as a kid and I loved. So I go, I'm going to bring some of these things. I got to try some of these things. And I got to say, they do okay. You know, my roommate Lisa, she does a lot for the homeless. And she's got friends that, you know, aren't as, what would you call it, well-being as us, you know, are doing it well. Not that we're, you know, rich or whatever, but so I'll make a shitload of Johnny's enchiladas and take them to certain people and just do our thing and, you know, whatever. I've done it and people have actually asked me for more and they're paying for it, and I'm going like, you know, but then it's kind of scared me because, you know, I don't have a license or whatever, so I kept it low. I want to cut that out now, but I kept it low, and it's just thriving too. And Lisa bakes, so I'm the meats and she's the sweets. You know, so but it works. The guys at 3-6's joke and say I should have a little stand on the side, so we're, you know, they're changing our guitars and stuff. I can make something, give it to the crowd. They call me Johnny Cardenas. So, yeah, I mean, and it's just one of those things, you know, that my mom worked in the cafeteria. You know, I love to eat. So, you know, I do different things. I make enchiladas with flour tortillas. They're bigger, softer, and just like a bunch of wet burritos. if you want to think of it that way, you know, so. Yeah, and it's fun. So, like I said, I do my job during the day. I do my guitars all night, and if they go into the day, the day job is cool. And I still, you know, I do what I got to do, and then I make dinner and invite friends over to enjoy what I made.
Nice.
So don't forget to look out for us before you leave.
Okay, and I guess we're gonna close it up with a good final. What do you want to leave or would say to the folks that are your friends and the folks that'll be watching this video? What are the kind of last words, or what message do you want to give them to close up this interview? Like a final thoughts on them? And
well, you know, my thing is support musicians. Support our. Let me back that up. For musicians to support other musicians. Backstabbing is bullshit. Get you nowhere, doesn't make your band sound any better. It's just bullshit. If anything, it makes your band look stupider. We've all started somewhere. We've all end somewhere, but you can always learn something from somebody. That doesn't make you not the musician you want to be. You can learn something from every kind of music. For me personally, I can't learn nothing from rap. Personally. But it is a genre that obviously sells millions of dollars. I'm more the pick up an instrument kind of guy. You know, I can learn from funk, punk, jazz, you know, R&B, whatever. You can learn something from every genre on the instrument you play. Or maybe here's you want to pick up a new instrument that you never thought you wanted to play. So my big thing is, like, don't go to a show with your arms crossed in the front row and act like a dick. It's a lot easier to be cool than to be a fuckhead. So just go and enjoy the music and support them. Because I support anybody who's got the balls to get on the stage and do their thing. They're doing their thing, so let them do their thing and support them.
Good stuff.
That's pretty much it, man.
Good stuff. Thank you, Johnny.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
it, buddy.
Cheers, fuckers.